So Trump has cooked the economy in ways previously not thought possible. You know, one of the big things that we've been talking about is brain drain. That's this idea that, like, for the longest time, we had the best and the brightest come to the U.S. because of our university system, because of our scientific and medical research. And, well, what happens when you just decide we're going to cut off all the funding for the scientific and medical research? What happens when you decide we don't want any foreign students that come into this country to come anymore, you know? And the result is catastrophic. The result is, hey, we have a cancer vaccine study that's actually going along pretty well and showing some promise, and oops, now we cut the funding and everybody's fucked, right? Oh, we have this multi-decade-long study on this illness or that disease, and now we just cut it off and it's done. That's one of many things where, you know, it's in the long run, it destroys this country, cutting off the funding for renewable and green technology, for the jobs that were being created there. This is all like long-term fucked stuff, right? Well, guess what? Now we're beginning to see some of the short-term impacts of having a complete and utter fascist asshole pig running the country. So look at this. Again, this is from the New York Post, bro. This is a right-wing outlet. Ready? Las Vegas's tipped workers say their income has fallen by more than half as tourism plunges. Las Vegas workers have seen their income from tips plunge by as much as 50%, despite the recently passed no tax on tips law, which, by the way, let me just pause to say that was a bit of a gimmick. It's like no tax on tips, only up to like $25,000 or something, but they also take the money back away from you on the back end because they take your Medicaid away from you and other things as well, food stamps, etc. So it was really just a gimmick. It's total bullshit. It's not actually, like, the tax cuts for the wealthy are permanent, but no tax on tips was only up to like $25,000 and they stole it from you on the back end anyway. All right, let's continue. As tourism in Sin City takes a hit from President Trump's global trade war, no tax on tips, that's a rad thing, but it doesn't really do us much good if there isn't any people to get tips from. Charlie Mungo, a 36-year-old tattoo artist in downtown Las Vegas, told the Wall Street Journal. Mungo said he has made about $1,500 a month in recent months. He added that Canadian customers, who make up about 30% of his clientele, have vanished. Quote, "We're all starting to freak out," he told the Journal. So look, in other words, even the people who were our best friends, our top allies, who had a genuine bond with us that felt like it was rock solid. Well, when Trump comes in there and he starts threatening to invade Canada, and then he starts saying, I'm going to put tariffs on you even though I just negotiated a trade deal with you recently myself. And then he starts saying, we're going to redraw the border and take more of your territory. And he starts calling him Governor Trudeau. Well, yeah, everybody in Canada, you like awakened their nationalism. And they were like, well, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. We're done with you. And now Canadians are not coming to the U.S. anymore. The other thing is, when you see person after person getting sent to a concentration camp or getting arrested by ICE and deported, you're going, that could easily fucking be me. I'm not going to roll the dice. I'm not going to try. What if it fails? I'm just not going to go to the U.S. Why would I bother? And that's where we are. All right, so they continue. Overall, visitations to the city are down more than 6% through the first half of the year, with April 2025 recording just over 3.3 million visitors, representing a 5.1% drop from the previous April, according to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Airport traffic has also decreased, with April passenger traffic at Harry Reid International Airport loading 4.7 million, down 3.4% from April 2024. International visitor arrivals fell over 13% in June. Damn. Compared to the previous year, while domestic travel saw a 6.5% decline year over year based on CoStar data. The overall decline in tourism has hurt service sector workers who were expecting to benefit from Trump's campaign pledge to eliminate tax on tips. The legislation was included in the big bullshit bill signed earlier this month and exempted up to $25,000, blah, 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 blah. Jacob Soto, a 22-year-old supervisor at Pink Box Donuts downtown, told the Journal that his weekly credit card tips dropped from between $175 and $200 to anywhere from $100 to $150. With his $15 per hour wage insufficient to cover basic expenses, Soto said, I kind of rely on tips at the end of the day. The empty feeling is apparent on the usually busy Las Vegas Strip. Hotel occupancy rates have declined to approximately 66.7% in early June compared to the same period last year. Vegas is not fun anymore. Amrita Basin, a retail industry entrepreneur, told MarketWatch, she said that hotels in the city can charge as much as $50 in resort fees that make their stay more expensive. Rising prices affect both workers and tourists. A 67-year-old Wisconsin visitor said he's reconsidering his tipping practices. Just because prices went up doesn't mean I should pay more tip. At Mon Ami Gabi restaurant on the Strip, a dinner menu cheeseburger with fries now costs $30, Jesus, plus tax and tip, compared to $16 4 years ago. This is what I'm saying. The inflation is hitting everywhere, too. That's the other thing. So there's a war on all of our allies, which means tourism goes down. Then you also have massive inflation hitting across a number of different sectors. This is a horrible mix, bro. Rory Kuykendall, a 41-year-old California native who moved to Las Vegas a decade ago, works as a graveyard shift bell person at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino. Tips constitute 25% to 70% of his income, depending on weekly business levels. This guy described his recent tip income as underwhelming while facing increased costs for groceries and car insurance. Never mind, health insurance is going to skyrocket too. He has reduced personal spending to manage finances. Quote, it feels really off. So, you can see the pictures, bro. And somebody was tweeting as well. Somebody who I follow on Twitter he was in Vegas and he was showing pictures. And it is a fucking ghost town, dog. Nobody's in Vegas right now. And look, it is a direct result of the Trump regime and their horrific policies and their unnecessary trade war and their unnecessary wars, right? What kind of a message does that send to the world when you launch an illegal attack against Iran? They didn't attack us. They weren't building a nuke. We're just a pariah. Arming and funding a genocide that Israel's doing, we are just a pariah. And so now, who wants to come here? Nobody's going to want to come here for their education purposes because we don't even want them there. And people have to submit their whole fucking social media history in order to get into the country. So nobody's going to want to come to the country in that respect. And nobody's going to want to come for tourism either. And that's what we're witnessing now. So what's kind of amazing to me is this. I always thought when empires rise and fall, the fall takes a while. The fall is hey, give it a little bit of time, homie. This is a big empire that we've built. It's very sprawling. It's very all-encompassing. Got to give it some time for it to wind down. That was fucking wrong. Our shit is going down like air out of a balloon. When you release a balloon and it's and shoots all over the room and falls out of the air pretty quickly. That's how our country feels right now. And this is just another example of it here. So, we're already pretty much in a recession, right? What you're seeing at the moment is this very weird space where the stock market in no way, shape, or form is linked to the economy. You understand what I'm saying? The stock market is its own thing while actual people are hurting in the economy. So corporate profits are at a record high while unemployment is going up, inflation is going up, people are struggling. Las Vegas workers are losing half their income, which comes through tips. It's this very weird, there was a fork in the road where the stock market stopped representing even a little bit what the actual economy is like. And I think we're about to see that's all going to catch up. And we're going to hit a brick wall. And at some point, it's going to be a real economic downturn, the likes of which people cannot wrap their minds around. Because all the fundamentals are there for this to be catastrophic. Trump has no idea what he's doing. He's massively incompetent. At the same time, we have record income and wealth inequality. He just decided to wage further class war on the working class and give more money to the billionaires, more money to the robber barons, more money to the corporations, destroy the social safety net, destroy tourism in this country. This has long-ranging consequences I really don't think people fully understand yet, but they will very soon. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You want to.